Hi guys, this is Pestily and welcome to another Escape from Tarkov video. So last night I did a podcast with the team members plus a couple of guests being Jesse Kazam, No Food After Midnight, and Sneaky Russian 007, and we were going to talk about, or we talked about our experiences within Escape from Tarkov, and that was the main focus of the podcast. I did message Nikita earlier in the day and said if you wanted to, I'm doing a podcast tonight, if you wanted to pop in and just talk for 5 minutes, give a status update, I'm sure everyone would like to see you. Including us, of course. And he actually stayed for, I think it was about 45 minutes in the end. And he gave out some information, and it's blown up. It's blown up, like one particular point. And I'll get to that one in a minute. So I thought I'd go over some of the things that he said, so people that don't want to watch the whole podcast can get the brief summary of it. And then I'm going to give some of my opinions on how it's probably going to roll out. I don't know for sure. And we'll leave it there. So guys, without further ado, let's crack straight into it. So without going into too much detail of the development process, they have finished completing all content for patch 0.12 or 0.12. However, they're in the internal bug fixing testing phase, and they're trying to get all that sorted so they can release the patch. Once they've finished their internal bug fixing, etc., they're going to release a trailer which will showcase majority of the things that are going to be included in patch 0.12 and give us a sneak peek, get the hype cranking. Around this time, also, the pre-wipe events will start. Now, with the pre-wipe events, they're going to test out a few different things, and they're going to use this as a bit of a testing phase. The first one that he released and said to everyone was they're going to make it absolutely impossible to put items into your container once you're into a raid. You can take stuff out, you can use stuff in it, but anything you want to put in won't be able to go in there until you finish the raid. This will be a testing during the pre-wipe event, and on completion of the event, they're going to get community feedback to figure out if they want to release it permanently into the game and give a true hardcore experience. Now, I'm going to come back on my opinions and all that later on, but I'll go through the rest of the podcast points and then we'll move into that because that's the major topic right there. There's been a lot of talk on every platform possible about what's going to happen with these whole container situation. During the pre-wipe events or close to the actual release of the patch, they're going to do an actual Tarkov TV podcast, and that's what they're going to showcase things that will be in the patch, and that will be during the downtime of the patch being released. So this is all meant to happen quite soon together, and from the vibe that we got from Nikita is they're trying really hard, and you could see in the actual footage of Nikita in his webcam that he looked tired. The Battlestate game team is working really hard, and it was obvious in how he was talking about them being really passionate about the actual project. As it goes for patch 0.12, majority of the things that they said that would be in there will be in there. So the mill base will be. Spoke about the hideout, things you can do inside the hideout, which is going to be pretty cool. Stuff like being able to make moonshine and combine meds together. And it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. They even said stuff like Bitcoin farming. And yeah, it's going to be your own little place where you can create stuff and do stuff in between raids and give that little bit of a immersion factor was the word Nikita used. Nikita touched on different things that will be changed slightly, the mechanics of how people will move, like the 3D animations might give a slightly different feel to the game, but it's better. He says it looks really good. They're going to have the better grass rendering and also anti-aliasing and stuff like that. So it's all looking really good. A very common topics that kept getting brought up from chat at the time was if the sound's going to be changed at all. That's the Steam audio that they want to put into the game is being pushed back to a later patch. Also VoIP and a lot of those things that we've heard about many times in the past. It's getting put back to patch 0.13 or 0.13. As they're just trying to get this one out so they can move on with future patches. The good thing about what they've done, though, is they've moved up to the new Unity engine, being Unity 2018, giving them the tools to be able to make stuff a lot faster and at a higher quality. Nikita brought up the point how they've been in touch with the makers of the Unity engine to push the boundaries to make it so they can have the best game possible, and they are really pushing the Unity engine to the extreme with this game, which is great. In both as a development process, they're actually making a game that is fresh and new because it's them doing it, and then working with the Unity team to make sure it actually comes out. I'm pretty sure there's Unity want to use Escape from Tarkov as one of their flagship games as hey, this is what you can do with the Unity engine. Just briefly, the reshade, Slush Puppy asked about reshade being used and if it's like allowed or not. Nikita said Battleye is doing a wonderful job with the anti-cheat system, and they have their own limitations on what can be used with, like, in regards to reshade. Older versions can be used because they don't have certain, I don't know, tricks and stuff that will make it so you can, like, remove foliage from trees and all that stuff and turn day to night. So the older versions are allowed, the newer ones aren't, and at the moment that's how Nikita wants it to stay. And Nikita dictates towards Battleye how strict to have those rules. And so that's, to my understanding, that's like the default way that Battleye suggests. And Nikita said he'll change that however he sees fit. When it comes to us bringing up the point about how could there be like a colorblind setting in the game, a gamma and a contrast setting, so then anyone who's really using reshade after that point, to say that they're doing it for anything but make the colors look a little bit brighter and all that, and the gamma, or to say that reshade's not even worthwhile putting your time into because the game has everything you need, and that's something that they're going to look into doing in the future. So moving back to this whole gamma container or container saga, I didn't know that this was coming as a test or anything like that. I have actually, I'm happy to say this. I've said in the past that I thought it was absolutely fucking stupid that you'd be able to put a mag case inside a gamma container, and I've voiced that to Nikita, saying how is it fair that someone who has a gamma container can have a pretty much unlimited ammunition and be able to put it in and out, not in and out, and it's making a 9-slot container go to 39. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. And in my opinion, I thought it was silly. And that's the extent of mine, because I've been trying to find out the information from people on Reddit and the community and Twitch and just everywhere, and reading YouTube comments from other people's YouTube videos to see what everyone's thinking. And it's so all out in the open in every direction. Everyone's got different opinions. And while I really do think it's great, the main thing I think people need to just understand is you need to give it a go. Like, I'm probably leaning more towards one way than the other for my own reasons. But until you actually give it a go, you don't know for sure if you're going to like it or not. Just to straight out say, hey, this is a stupid idea or this is a great idea, you might think it's a great idea and it'll be shit, or it might be a shit idea and it'll be great. And I really do say, just wait, give the pre-wipe event a go, and if you like it, sweet, make your voice really loud then. Because right now, it's like saying, I don't like eating bananas before I've had a banana. You know what I mean? So in my opinion, everyone needs to just cool out, and then we'll give it a go. And when it comes to the time, go nuts and then be vocal about it then. If I had any idea of how it would run, unless the majority of the community goes one way or the other, it's not going to change. It'll either stay the same unless like 80% of the community was like, yeah, this is sick, and the majority were pushing for it. I think people in general most likely lean towards they don't really make a vocal point until they don't like something. So even the people that are liking something might not be as vocal. But I do say, like, you know, if you don't like it, don't let it get changed. Like, it really doesn't affect me that much at all. I enjoy the game anyway, so it makes no real difference in the end. I think it's interesting to think that when you go into a raid, that you'll be able to kill someone who might have just gone to the 310 room, and straight after it, you'll kill them, and you actually get whatever they had in there. I had a raid the other day where someone was actually like a complete hatcheter, might have only had an alpha container, or they went into 310 and there was 2 lions, and there was still a lion in there, and I thought that was sick that I wasn't the first one there, and I actually still got to get some good items. I think if we had that opportunity more often to see what loot was in there anyway, and be able to achieve it. I know there's a lot of stress about people saying that there's going to be a lot more extract campers. I think once people realize that, hey, there's not more of a possibility of someone extract camping, you're just going to be a little bit more patient about extracting. And it might force people to actually spend a bit longer in a raid rather than just rushing out straight away, because you want to play that a little bit safer, slow that pace down, and yeah, just take it a little bit slower. For the whole, it's going to make it too hard for people that are casual or don't have any ability to enjoy it. I think there's probably, just to straight out say that you can no longer put stuff into a container. Whilst extreme, they might need to do some other things to the game to actually make it a little bit more, let's say, fairer for someone who goes in with less gear. I don't think there's many backpacks in the game in loose spawns. I think if they bumped up loose spawns with backpacks, scav backpacks, for example, have that up around the, like 10 spawns in a raid in different locations. But then, hey, if you actually went in with just a pistol, you know where some backpack spawns are. Grab a backpack, and that's a lot less money you have to spend. Or maybe up to a scav backpack. Also, having some pistols that are loaded freely laying around the map in specific locations would actually be pretty cool. Then that way people aren't always stressed about, hey, I can't even afford a gun or a backpack. And once you have a pistol, there's so much you can do in this game with turning a pistol into a great loadout. Just like the dream is always to do a zero to hero run. If I had to give my honest opinion about how this is going to all unfold, I think majority of people won't vote for the change anyway. And I think what will end up happening is, I'm hoping at least, we can find some sort of middle ground. I've put a bit of time in thinking about it over the last 12 hours instead of just trying to chuck a video up straight away. And the way I think it would be nice is maybe even have the kappa container restrictions on all containers. It kind of doesn't make it so everything can be secured, but it makes it so you can still do a lot of items. And then I was thinking about maybe taking it just that little bit further, and all the items that have, say, a purple background, which I think is mostly like your Bitcoin roller. I'm trying to off the top of my head. There's only a few items, but those purple background items, if those also couldn't be put in there, you can still get meds in there. You can still go into a raid, pick up 5 IFAKs, couple of morphine, and you've made 70 or 80,000. Or you might be able to still get a cat and a clock in there, and just some of the items. So not all the items can't go in there, but just particular ones that like are maybe the highest tier, and to give that extreme risk on, holy shit, I just found an LEDX, I need to get out with that. And I don't even think an LEDX has a purple background, but they could even give like the LEDX one. So then that one has to be extracted with, but the items that maybe are worth, instead of like the million ruble ones, like those ones you have to try and extract with, but the ones that are worth maybe up to 100,000 rubles, I don't really care. You guys can pick the number. I think that way, it's finding the middle ground, and I feel like maybe that will be the end state. I think it's silly that containers can go inside containers, inside secure containers. It's just wrong. Mag cases, probably ammo boxes as well. I don't think that's really a place that should be, or an item that should be in a secure container, and I've been very vocal about that. I made a video, I think, about it maybe 6 months ago, 8 months ago, talking about secure containers and having a mag box in there and making more money that way than actually doing it, say, with a gamma container. And yeah, this is my opinion. This is how I feel. I don't think everyone needs to go crazy. I think most people just need to chill out, have some fun, try it out. If they like it, be vocal then. So yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. I know this is a bit of towards the end of it, it's mostly me just ranting on about, my opinions of it, but the discussion's always good. All I ask, guys, from this point, I know there's already comments in people have been commenting down below saying, this is bullshit. Don't change my gamma. Don't take my gamma away. And also that, I won't go down that path of, this is, I paid for a gamma. The game's always been pay for head start. When there's no more wipes, the gamma's not going to be a great thing for you, because you're going to have a bigger container anyway. The Omnicron's going to be added to the game. The Kappa's going to be in the game. There's going to be bigger containers you can use anyway. So it doesn't even make any difference. If you pay that extra money for the Edge of Darkness, for the extra space, the stashes, the hideout's going to have increased stashes up to the size of Edge of Darkness. So it's just pay for that head start. It's never been a pay-to-win account. And you're paying to support Battlestate games as well as get the DLCs once the game's released, and they're still releasing new content. I'm going to finish that up there. Feel free to voice your opinions below, but be courteous towards other people's opinions. If you don't agree with someone, you can state your opinion. You can negate their opinion, but don't abuse them. I really don't like it when people are getting aggressive and rude towards other people. So anyway, to finish up on a lighter note, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for future content. I do stream on Twitch every day of the week, so go down the link below. Give me a follow over there. You got any Tarkov questions, feel free to hit me up on my live stream or down in the comments below. And lastly, I'll see you next time. Do 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 do.